Hi, it's Kasia speaking to you, and this is an English version of Podkastynacja. At some point of recording podcasts, I realized my foreign students are left out since they can't speak Polish. And the topics we're discussing here are, in my humble opinion, extremely interesting. So, let the world hear us. Have you ever wondered why we swear? Or why a totally neutral word in one culture has a taboo label, while in the other it does not? Hi there, it's Kasia speaking to you, and this is English version of Podkastynacja, and I answer these questions for you. This is a podcast about swearing, but it's not only about different forms of fucks. You're going to learn much more than that. So, have we always used profane words, you may ask? To answer this, we need to go back in time to a very distant past when humans functioned as hunter-gatherers. Imagine, you go hunting with your bro, you're hiding behind the bushes, and there's a distance between you and your bro. Suddenly, you can see a lion approaching him, but he, of course, has no fucking idea about that. So, what will you do? How will you warn him? If I were you, I would probably shout something out, but a kind of a word filled with emotions, not the neutral one. And that's probably what happened thousands of years ago. Another scientific approach in the theory when the swear words originated also goes back to the times when humans lived in tribes. It helps us cope with difficult situations and solves problems with each other. And somehow made us human. An example? Imagine you're having a fight with somebody from the tribe and you can either take a piece of shit and throw it at him or use sounds or words that could make up a beautiful stream of swear words. Of course, throwing a piece of shit seems to be tempting, but obviously we gave up doing that at some point and went for "you're a fucked up piece of shit" insult. So, as you can hear, it is in our nature to swear. In a moment, I provide you with more situations where it would be hard to live without them. And my point here is that we have always used profanity. Where there are the first signs of a language, there are also signs of profanity. Of course, in a different form than we do it today. However, they have always been with us since they have been serving their purpose. So, it is who we are. It's our biology. Evolution, which would have got rid of it if swearing hadn't been useful at any point in human history. Swear words come in handy in so many various situations in life, sometimes under our control and sometimes not. And it leads us to the intentional and unintentional swearing. Let's have a look at the unintentional one first, which is closely connected with our reaction to pain, stress, relief, or more positively, maybe admiration. Try to remember the last time you hit your elbow or shin bone very, very badly. What came to your mind first? Oh, it hurt so much, or a loud fuck, or other equivalent in your mother tongue? I personally would go for fuck or a Polish queen kurwa in such a situation. You know, it is scientifically proved that swearing helps us deal with pain. You can look it up. You might have heard about an experiment where participants had to keep their hands in a bucket filled with freezing cold water. One of the groups could use any words, including profanity, during the experiment. The other one could use any language, but not swear words. And guess what? The group allowed to use profanity scored better and in total kept their hands in the water longer. Google it if you like. What about admiration, shock, anger, or other emotions to release? Intonation helps here. I personally use both English and Polish swear words, and depending on the intonation, I can skillfully express different emotions with the use of the same profane word. Let's say, "O kurwa, kurwa, kurwa." If you're not familiar with Polish kurwa, I hope you could hear the difference in the emotions. So, shock. It's a shock. "O kurwa." Admiration. Kurwa. Oh, kurwa. Anger, kurwa. And why does it happen this way? Why do we use profanity while being pissed off, miserable, or shocked? You should thank the right hemisphere of your brain. It is involved in swearing since it is responsible for emotions. And I think it's time to have a look at the intentional swearing. Intentional, so conscious, targeted, focus on achieving a particular aim. Cursing or insulting somebody. Go to hell, damn you, you're such a dickhead. I've never met a more fucked up motherfucker than you. And so on. You can leave it to your imagination, And you won't hurt somebody. You want them to feel pain or make something happen to them. Your expression is full of intentions, let's be honest, not the best ones. But intentional swearing may also strengthen social bonds or generally make social bonding easier. Who do you feel the most comfortable with? Do you swear in the company? I bet you do. What about people you just have met? Are you willing to swear as well? I can illustrate the situation with the example from the classes I conduct. There are no taboo topics or no taboo words in my classes. Really, I do not mind my students using profanity, and I would turn out to be a hypocrite if I minded, since I am a very active user of profanity myself. Anyway, I can feel when I can do it in the classroom, and so do my students. The ones with whom I feel the strongest, let's say bond, or they've been my students for quite long, feel more comfortable with swearing in the class. Sometimes it's just a matter of breaking the ice and then we have like a fuck avalanche. Another aspect of social bonding that comes to my mind is a work environment. I once read a story of a woman scientist who worked only with men. And guess what? Once she adopted their profane language and the way of speaking in general, they started taking her more seriously, and she felt equal to them. On the one hand, it is sad and so unfair that a woman sometimes has to prove her worth or skills by doing such a thing. But on the other one, it proves that what I just mentioned about fitting in society and social group is true. And fitting in a social group can smoothly take us to cultural conventions. We live in a world when a woman or a girl needs to be polite, kind, and use the proper language. Proper, what does it mean? Yeah, proper. But in this case, proper in a meaning without swear words, of course. And it is inappropriate for women to swear as often as men, or generally it's frowned upon to swear. Don't ask me how often I used to hear it as a teenage girl. Fortunately, I've never been given a shit about what others said. In Poland, fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, I don't know, but anyway, it is only about profanity. But for example, in Japan, a gender has its own set of expressions, and using it by the opposite sex would be frowned upon. So the women's language is more polite and subtler, if I may call it this way, than men's one. Double standards, as you can see. I don't speak Japanese myself, but I read about it once, and I also discussed it a bit in another podcast, which will come out soon, by the way. Other cultural differences? Let's have a closer look at the Arabic language. Calling somebody a dog, which can be totally neutral in other languages, in Polish is very often a pejorative one. So be careful, don't call anyone kalb in Arabic, meaning dog, because if you do, you'd better run. To make it even worse and trickier, if you call somebody kalb with k, with the emphatic k in Arabic, it can mean my baby, my dearest, beloved one, since kalb means heart in Arabic. When does a word become a swear word? That's another point worth discussing, and we'll have to go back in time again. Let's go back to medieval times first and refresh our knowledge on essential values shared at that time. What was the number one priority then? God and religion. Everyone was religious and pious. So what was the worst profanity and the worst thing that could possibly happen to you? Cursing somebody and being cursed. Expressions like go to hell, God damn it, Jesus Christ belong to the category of mild swear words today. But imagine yourself living in the Middle Ages. Probably I would shit myself if somebody cursed me with saying go to hell. No, I couldn't care less. Now let's have a look at the Renaissance, a period after the Middle Ages where there was a huge shift in people's values. We weren't so focused on God and religion, but on a flawless, perfect creature, a human being. So, as spotless as, I would say, pristine creation, we couldn't do activities such as spitting, shitting, or having sex. And then the other category of swear words was created, and words connected with our body parts, sex, and letting out all possible liquids and solid forms from our bodies were given a taboo label. And a small digression for all the gentlemen who still believe we live in the Renaissance and women don't take number 2. Yes, man, we do. We do take a dump. And races, race, disabilities, and sexual preferences also learn their own group, their own category of swear words. An example? For me, as a white person from privileged social group, privileged society, calling a black person nigger is out of the question. However, the word is not so offensive when black people call each other this way. Slavery legacy, if I may say so. I'm sorry. When it comes to terms connected with disabilities, some of those which function as insults right now used to be medical terms or neutral expressions such as moron, retard, or dumb. What I like about swear words is that they are universal in use and very flexible when it comes to word formation. Quite often it's just a matter of changing a prefix or suffix or put two profane words together to create a saucy insult. Let's begin with a countless variation of fuck. Exclamations such as fuck it, or fuck me in the eye, or fuck it all, or go fuck yourself, or phrasal verbs, fuck off, fuck about, fuck up, or some of my favorite expressions, when you lose your shit, or then you have to get your shit together, or no shit Sherlock, motherfucker, dickhead, cockhead, bullshit. Use these compounds as you wish. We're coming to an end of this podcast, and at the very end, I want to bring up a crucial issue. That is, whether your intelligence determines the use of swear words or the other way around. It's a kind of prejudice, I would say, maybe stereotype, that if once swear a lot, it means you are not well educated or you come from underprivileged background. I am far from stating such a bullshit. To skillfully swear, you need to have wits. Unless you use swear words as commas. But if you use them to make your speech more emotional, it doesn't mean you lack rich vocab. I personally enjoy talking with people who don't overuse swear words and can skillfully work a bit of profanity in the statements. And all the aspects of profanity are a subject of scientific research. So, it goes without saying. And there is some paradox of profanity. The word, to keep its taboo label, cannot be overused. If it is, then it loses this label and becomes a neutral word. So it depends on us, our beliefs, culture, customs, and usage if the word will function as a profane one. We need this profanity, we need the taboo language since it helps us function in a society and deal with our emotions. A word is neutral by nature. This is us who give the words a taboo label. Such funny creatures we are. So, swear when you need it, have fun with it. Hope you will all ease listening to this podcast. It was Kasia talking to you, and talk to you next time. Bye bye.